Hello, everyone. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst with Money and Markets, and your host of the weekly marijuana market update. Now, I want to drop in a special video here. Just took a little time out. I do have some big news for those of you who do follow our Cannabis Watchlist on moneyandmarkets.com. On Friday morning, just a few hours ago, actually, HITI Incorporated right now trades over the counter. The ticker symbol is HITID. They recently announced they have been approved to move their common shares from the over-the-counter market to the Nasdaq capital market, or the Nasdaq. Now, this is big news. HITI is now the first major publicly traded cannabis retailer, major cannabis company to announce it's been approved to trade on the Nasdaq. Shares of HITI will actually start trading on the Nasdaq under the ticker symbol HITI on June 2nd. Now, the transfer from HITID to HITI should be a fairly seamless transition. And if you do already own shares of HITI in the over-the-counter market, those shares are simply going to convert to HITI on June 2nd. There's no change in value. The shares will just convert from the OTC market to the Nasdaq without any problem whatsoever. Now, in order to qualify for listing on the Nasdaq, the company did have to meet certain requirements. They had to have about 1.25 million public shares held by at least 550 shareholders, and they had to have a collective market value of $45 million. And they did hit all of those benchmarks. They filed their paperwork with the SEC, with the Nasdaq, and they were approved. So now they are good to go. Now, the main reason why HITI is making the move to the Nasdaq is pretty obvious. This is going to give them increased visibility and increased liquidity. The over-the-counter markets aren't nearly as liquid as the major exchange markets. So this is going to be a big move for HITI. Now, moving to the Nasdaq rather is going to attract a broader pool of investors to the stock, which is going to infuse more money in the company and could possibly move the stock price even higher. So if you hold stock presently with HITI, don't do anything. You have nothing you really need to do. Nothing's going to change. Just know on June 2nd, your shares are going to transfer over to the Nasdaq. But other than that, nothing else is going to change. If you don't own shares, I really can't tell you what to do at this point. HITI is currently trading at around $7.60 per share on the over-the-counter exchange, but it's kind of up to you what you decide to do. If there's no certainty that HITI shares are going to go up or down. Once they transfer to the Nasdaq, odds are they're going to go up. But, I don't have a crystal ball, so I really don't know. But that's I want to get this out quick and let you know about this. Regardless, this is really big news for both HITI and our Cannabis watch list. Very excited about this. This is one of the reasons why I added HITI to the watch list back in March, was because I kind of saw this coming and it was going to be a big, potentially big boom for this stock. Now, recently I did talk about some changes to our YouTube channel that are coming. Well, we are moving even closer to those changes coming to reality. So make sure you stay tuned to our channel for more information on what we're going to be coming out with next. But until next time, I'm Matt Clark, research analyst with Money Markets, host of the Marijuana Market Update. Hope everyone has safe trading.